And today we have Christel. And how do you pronounce your last name again? I always get it wrong. I get everyone's last name wrong. So sorry about that.
You're not the only one. I think even myself for a little bit of time, but my name is Christel Amponin. So you can like amp and then Ponin.
Oh, okay. Got it. Got it. Well, my last name is pretty hard too because it's Hippolito and it's Filipino. And when I was little, they used to tease me and they say, "Aren't you supposed to be fat like a hippo?" But that's with two P's. I have only one P in my name, so
Touche. Okay.
yeah, yeah. But today we met several months ago, right? And you were working in a company that has some unique ways of marketing, and I think that's how we were introduced. So I was pretty excited about that. And so today, and if you want to tell that story, it's great because the idea for the marketing magazine is kind of unique for marketing. Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about that?
Sure, absolutely. So basically, I'm one of the marketing consultants with a large marketing firm, and we really specialize in utilizing different unique methods of
Mhm.
staying connected because at the end of the day, you're competing for attention. I mean, that's really what
Yeah.
this is about. That's why companies spend so much money and investing for just that fraction of a second so that you can get that one tab of influence. But the one thing that supersedes that is going to be the relationship that you have. And, it's very much something similar to like a mentor or somebody that you currently already, and you respect in high regard. And we believe it's the same thing, especially when it comes to your client relationships, your customers' relationships. And it's where a lot of businesses typically tend to miss that mark. It's
Mhm.
very transactional. And
Yeah.
we want to remove just that one directional way of connecting with people and make it more co-symbiotic and create that relationship.
Yeah, I think personalization is really key for success, and then building that relationship appropriately. So, one thing I'm doing is I'm getting a magazine produced, and I'm creating like X amount of copies and things like that. And so, one advantage of that with working with the company that you're managing there is the fact that they already know you, and then they get a magazine with some of your information in it, and then the magazine is not easily thrown out like a business card or something like that. So I'm really liking that concept of the thing. So for context for everyone else, um, I'm working with her, with Christel, in order to create a magazine. So I have outreach on LinkedIn. I got posts on LinkedIn. I have a LinkedIn newsletter. I have an email list, and all these other ways to reach out to my audience, customers, partners, or people that I work with, or I pay their services as well. And so this is another avenue of being top of mind. So I thought that was pretty cool. But today I just wanted to start with that. But today we're going to talk about three unique ways to create impact and establish key relationships. And I do appreciate that. And I think we talked a little bit about you, but if you want to say anything more, definitely let me know. Definitely have at it.
Yeah, well, I've been doing sales and marketing, since college, but really started seriously, over the past 10 years. It's become a passion. I think sometimes you get into industries and it isn't, but I definitely love the psychology. I love being able to help people connect with people and really just see what their needs are. And so I've been very fortunate to find a really great home, but also meet so many amazing people, different businesses, and that's how you and I met.
Yeah, yeah, you're very personable, very good at sales, and I'm not good at sales. I, I'm more about engagement and just getting to know the person. And so what I do is, they just ask me what I do, and I say, "Oh, I do this stuff. If you want to talk about this, it's a separate meeting." So I usually separate it out. But you laid it out very, very keenly from the beginning, and I thought that was pretty strong, a very powerful way of doing that. And I have a sales partner, and Catherine Nunez, and she does a lot of that stuff. So I'm usually the face. I'm usually the guy that runs the show. I'm the
Mhm.
technical guy, the guy that solves the problems, but I am not like the sales component on it. So those things are a little bit difficult for me. Matter of fact, it was so difficult because I was getting all these meetings. I had to figure a way to reduce my meetings. So I was getting like 40 or 50 meetings to solve these problems. And I wasn't really making money off it, to be honest with you. And I was
Mhm.
thinking, how can I serve these people but not absorb all my time? And we created a system where we just have meetings Tuesdays and Thursdays and a few on Wednesdays, just to reduce the meetings and have those meet and greets and solve those immediate issues. And then if it's business, we push it to another meeting. That way there's no pressure, and the people get the answers they need, to move forward. So the three areas we're talking about here, that you want to talk about is host an interactive event, launch a collaborative project, and then volunteer for a cause. Let's talk about that. When you talk about hosting an interactive event, what type of events have you hosted, and what ideas do you have for that?
Great question. Thank you for that. And don't sell yourself short on, not being like a sales expert or anything like that. I think it's really about conviction, and you have that. And so, really the idea behind hosting an interactive event is that now with everything going virtual, you can capitalize on people that are local to your city, or
Mhm.
in your community close by, your neighborhood. And you can also move that online and reach even more people. And that's where you can create, not only different types of digital assets for yourself, but really create a collective goal for the group.
So you're
Um,
talking about having like a local event with an interactive component? Is that what you're? So yeah, tell us about that, because I like the idea. I just don't know the details on how to make it happen. And I know that the audience would love to hear some of that.
So, for example, a little while ago, I had traveled with one of my mentors, and we had done this, excursion, this trip. It was a travel program. But
Mhm.
what I thought was really unique is that it wasn't intention. The intention wasn't to, hitch entirely, right? I think we go to these networking events, we want to connect, but we find
Yeah,
ourselves being sold to.
yeah.
Whereas this, it was like, do not talk business. You are not allowed to have
Mhm.
fun. And so you were just connecting with the fact that you have like minds.
Mhm.
And then at the end, we did this kind of a reverse mentoring workshop. And so what that would do is that we would, and he's, mind you, the guru. So he was learning from us at this point. And it's really a great way to see, what somebody's chops are, but really just share what we all have to offer. This could be a mixed match of maybe setting aside some time to do different breakout room sessions, maybe
Mhm.
one-on-one conversations, pairing people up, panel discussions. You can
So
include.
if you would set up an interactive event, you would set up in a local place, and then you would have an online component. So would you have like a live Zoom or a StreamYard or live or something like that playing actually at the event?
I definitely think that has its advantages. If
Okay.
it's something for maybe VIP, clients or people you're looking to keep this, kind of like an intimate setting, you can
Mhm.
always still record that and have that content available. I think always content's always going to be king, but
Mhm.
you can do a myriad of both. You would work with your team and figure out what your digital or your online capabilities are, and then
Mhm.
move from there. Because not
Oh,
everybody's comfortable being recorded.
yeah, I like the idea of having a kind of a hybrid event. You would have to have an assistant there to kind of monitor the monitor the things, and also
100%.
you would sometimes technically you would run into some issues. Like for example, Restream doesn't work for 10% of the people. So with like the guest speakers. So what I do is I meet with them a week early to see if there's any technical issues. So you can go to an event place and then they have like a firewall that blocks all the stuff that goes out, and it may not work. So yeah, I guess making sure that you have the ability to test these things prior is
100%.
pretty important. Yeah, yeah. So you've had some success in those areas, I imagine.
Yes. So another life ago, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And
Hmm.
so what I would always find creative ways of connecting with people. And so I think you just become, you're young, you can connect. That's at least one thing that I can say it's one of my assets is that I'm able to, draw people in and have those conversations. But the key is to really just take speed and allow that to be your friend. A lot of times people give you an idea and you may drag on that. And so where I found that it was beneficial is that I would just say, hey, let's get together. And in the beginning, it could be maybe you're doing something like a cultural exchange. Maybe you want to do like a cooking class, or you want to share the differences. Um, one event that I went to was actually designed to share our different cultural experiences
Oh, okay.
in the neighborhood.
How'd you build it? Did you use like years ago they had Meetup? I guess that's still
That's
there.
that's what I
Is
use.
that
Yeah,
still thing? Is that's a thing still? And
it is.
I just don't get out as much because of the pandemic. And I'm a single father, so I have to plan way ahead, right? And so I think it's a great idea because people want to go out. They want to actually meet real people for a real reason, you know. But if you, besides the Meetup, do you have any particular platforms that you would want to market that to? Is Facebook good at doing those things? I'm not sure.
Facebook is excellent. I think everybody, it's the largest global platform that you can
Hmm.
reach pretty much anybody,
Hmm.
past or present, and they're currently connected to you. Facebook is always, checks the box. I think any of the major social media platforms, TikTok is really great for getting a lot of organic, people that are close to you because initially it posts that's close to geographically where you're located. So if
Hmm.
people are
Oh,
interested, and if there is interest, then they'll engage with your posts, which boosts it to a larger demographic. And that's how, when you go viral, you're being seen by tons and tons of people.
oh, so you try to use a multi-prong approach, and then push it to the video or push it to wherever you want, and do that. And as a, I guess another thing you could probably do on some of these meetups is go to an existing group that has some similar interests and pitch them for the meetup, and then have them do the hard work, and you just support it, use their group to and because, for example, if you are into creating, like I'm in creating systems, right? I do personalization and automation, for conversion. And so there might be a lot of business people saying, you know what, we need to drive business on LinkedIn, but we don't want to come off salesy. How do I add some personality to it? And so if that was the case, I might find like business people or marketing people. I'm making it up, marketing people, and go to a meetup group that has some of those same individuals. Yeah, I
Well,
would guess.
just to kind of throw out some, other ideas. I know Craigslist maybe sounds super dated, for you and I,
Is
but
that existing still? I'm so
it
under a rock.
still
I
exists.
don't even.
It still exists. You can also start your own Discord group. A lot of younger people are on there. So if you're looking to
Mhm.
mix things up with the demographic, you can. WhatsApp is really great if you know a lot of people that are in different countries because you can really create those communities there. Telegram is great. Anywhere where you can, centralize a lot of people for your general message and disseminate that, I think
Mhm.
is great. You always want to have one major hub to draw people to you from where you're meeting
Mhm.
them in local areas. This can be your reach out to your local chamber of commerce, find people that are
Oh, that's a good idea.
buyers,
Mhm.
also in your neighborhood. You can even go to, there was one opportunity that I had. So I moved and I didn't know anybody, any local business centers, community centers. They always know where people are, especially if you've never left your house in the past couple of years and now you're having to.
It's like
Um,
driving around like, I don't know where I'm at.
Exactly. And that will really help you, just kind of get your feet wet, getting used to meeting new people. But
Yeah.
Meetup is also a great tool. Reddit. secret sauce is going on
Really?
Reddit. You will find tons of people like-minded that are looking to where you want to go. And then also you have the smaller connections. If you're looking to connect with more business owners,
So you have the more of the business end, but you have the more, there's a larger social, I would imagine, right? So like, I don't know, single men over whatever, or people that like knitting, or people that are in sports or something like that, right?
well, I think it's a two-pronged approach because you want to find out what your ideal, the person you're looking to connect with, what's their avatar? Is it
Yeah.
like more of a mindset thing that we're connecting with? Is it our social initiatives? And then you also want to find out the lifestyle of those people. Where do they hang out? Everybody has a different watering hole.
Yeah, and Atlanta is usually there's some downtown areas, but Buckhead is really known for in Atlanta. Buckhead is really known for a lot of stuff. So they even have the Buckhead Club that you have to pay to be part of the club there, and so that's usually the socialite, so to speak, of the audience over there. But yeah, you do want to mix it up because I find that some of the events are purely social, and then it's just selling is really taboo, right? When they get to know, or someone will come up and say, "Oh yeah, I do that," and they don't do it, and
Mhm.
so there's a lot of, sometimes there's some fluff in there that doesn't really translate into a genuine relationship. So that's one of the things I'm really worried about. It's like, well, if I'm talking to someone and they're full of fluff, it's like, what am I doing here? So
Mm.
I would think that finding events that really resonate to you as a person is going to be my priority. Because I always want to work with like genuine people, even if I'm not doing business with them. Usually business is the last thing on my mind. My only goal is to engage, to listen, and if there is an issue in the area of my expertise, I would love to just tell them how to fix it, because I figure if I fix their problem, there's only one of three things going to happen. Number one, you put out good energy in the universe.
Mm.
He's happy, you're happy. It was a nice time. You're having drinks or whatever. Number two, they can send a recommendation. They said, you know what, I can't do that because I don't need all that stuff, but Johnny does. Let me introduce you to Johnny. And I think 50% of your business is really based on recommendations, and referrals and things like that. And the third is they may actually need that help. So you already helped them. They already know you. They say, well, I trust you enough to help me further. And they engage in business. So that's my mindset. I think helping other people is a great way of actually gaining business.
I 1,000% agree. I think that I love what you mentioned about, you don't want it to be salesy. You want to make sure that you're connecting with the right kinds of people. I don't know if you listen to Dan Locke, but he has a book
No,
called, uh,
Dan Locke.
yeah, I don't know
Okay.
if you've ever heard of him. He's one of the sales gurus and out there, but he has a book called, it's FU Money, and hopefully it doesn't sound too crass, but
This is fu money, or is it really said the bad words?
Uh, it says I don't remember now, but I now send it to you because I definitely got that. And it really, the concept is that you're able to provide for yourself and create enough solvency so that you can work with the people that you want to work with. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. You want to connect with the right kinds of people. And that brings me to, like, even the second point about, collaborations. I mean, that's one of the biggest ways. I mean, even us right now, we're doing this. One person can really just change the entire outlook of your day, your business, but you really have to keep going and get to that. And I think really it starts off with the mission. What is your overall outcome for what you want to what you want to see, whether it's
Well,
create.
let's dive into that. I love the idea of collaboration. Can you give us an example, like a high level example, before we dive into like what is a collaborative type of project, and then how can someone initiate that? For example, I like to do projects all the time, but I don't know if they're collaborative based on a partner, but they're not collaborative in a community sense. Um, if I create a private community, there's elements that are community driven, but really the content is from top down based on what they need. So it's a little bit different. So what are some kind of collaborative projects that could be very successful for like entrepreneurs and things like that?
Really, what your ultimate mission is, I think when people are collaborating, there's always somebody that may be a little bit more ahead of where, of the initial person, and they want somebody that they want to see themselves where they want to be, in the future. And you need to have that. You need to have people, there's going to be kind of like a spectrum. And say for me, for example, like if I was somebody that wanted to have a certain kind of lifestyle, that person that I'd want to collaborate with would be where I was looking to go. And of course,
Okay, I
that's
see what you're saying. So you're looking for like, how do I get people that are like minded where I can advance my social skills, my financial skills, my business skills, my lifestyle, all those things I can learn from someone and vice versa. So you want to model yourself after other people are successful and learn from them and pair up. So that's what you mean by okay. I thought you meant by collaborative is like, here's an initiative. This is how you get all the people together to do this initiative, because that's how my brain works. I think about projects and getting something completely done. For example, we have a newer client, and he is a developer, right? And we've created through another developer a system that does that sends videos, native videos through LinkedIn. It may sound obtuse, but basically the conversion rate's really high, right? And people want a high conversion rate on LinkedIn, right? And so we create this one component, but we said, you know what can we do with this component? And so I mentioned to the new client that has a development company, he says, well, we could tie that into an API to this other company that has 20,000 members already. They're already paying for that service. And so to me, that's a collaborative conversation, because we're taking an idea and then we're saying, how can we help a lot of people and make a lot of money doing it? And so those are the type of collaborations I think are really awesome, because it's exciting. Those are the $1 million ideas where you're partnering up with other people that have a similar skill set, but may be more advanced or have more resources in certain areas, versus I may have the base component, and I may have the network, and he may have the skills, and pairing that up to make something awesome. I don't know. Is that totally different? Probably.
I don't think it is. We're in a different place, and I think that for me, I do look at it as wanting to. When you don't have the circle, when you don't have the network that you want, you have to go out there and seek it, and that could be you getting into a different pond.
Very true.
And where you are, I always believe it's about collaborating, with people that are, right there on your level, and using our different skill sets together. It can be both. And I think it's important to know what that is for you individually, and what the overall mission or the overall objective you're looking to connect.
Yeah, collaboration is important, so important for any success nowadays. 10 or 15 years ago, when I was running my IT company, there's a lot of stuff I could just do myself. I was like 5 people, and I was like a weird person because I could do all the stuff. But now I can't do it, because it's more complicated than it used to be. And it takes like a team of people to get stuff done. So there's a lot of stuff you can do by yourself, but I would say that in order to be extremely, successful, you have to partner with the right people that you trust. And they say know, like, and trust, right? That's the thing that they say. And it's true. If you know, like, and trust them, and you're making money together, and you step up that ladder, that trust is pretty strong. So it's harder to break that trust or someone to get in between it. If everyone is on the same page, they're helping each other. My partner, for example, we created the Now Society. Matter of fact, Lisa, if you can, put the link in the chat for the Now Society. We have a waiting list on that, and we said, well, we have all these meetings. How do we funnel them down into people that are interested in a group where we can help them individually or help them as a group. And so how do we have this? We have this problem that could be a potential solution, you know.
Mhm.
So that's one thing I was thinking about, and I couldn't have done it without my partner. You know, we're still building it. So we have a waiting list of about, I don't know, about 100 people on it already, and creating a site, creating a place, creating material for them, and all that. And then later on, we'll end up having a what they call uh, a mastermind group out of that. And so, and if you think about business, a lot of times your services might be here and the person wants it, but they don't have the understanding. They're not ready for that. So you can't offer that to them because they wouldn't know what to do with the booking meetings or anything like that, you know. So you have to educate them, offer them value, have them to get to know you, and then create some kind of vertical where you can be, you know, closer to that. I think the third one is you said here, that's the second one, collaborative project.
Correct. I think collaborative projects overall are about intention.
Mm-hmm.
Really just making sure that, I don't think there's anything wrong with co-symbiotic relationships. I think we should get something as we give something. And that's the biggest
Yeah,
thing. If you are passionate
true.
about the environment and you want to do a green initiative or you want to create any kind of program, that way you can connect. And like you said, it's either going to be an upward trajectory as far as connecting with people, or it's going to be more
Yeah,
uh,
lateral. Um,
lateral or linear as far as
yeah,
connecting.
linear. I would caution people though. So if you're going to put into something, you have to get something out of it. And it sounds selfish, but it could be personal. It could be something that makes you feel good. It's something that helps along with your morals or your standards, or it could be financial, you know? And
Mhm.
so one thing that I found very quickly is I help people, you know, get projects and work and all this other stuff. And I was handing out these potential deals to other people, and they were never sending me work. And I said, that's not a good collaborative arrangement at all.
Nope.
You know? And I said, you got like 4 project guys. I haven't seen it. I said, you haven't sent me anything. And so finding the people with the right mindset is really important, you know? So if I'm sending you 4 projects and you're making a killing on it, well, I mean, like look after me, you know, a little bit. Like maybe you could, you know, look after my network, or maybe you could provide, even if it wasn't for me, there's got to be there's got to be a good recoil on the other side to make everything worth it. Because if the people are not working together for a particular goal, you end up burning yourself up and being that good Samaritan that no one
Yeah.
respects. So you have that, they have to have that respect for you, and that in that ingenuity to really provide value, you know, to what you're doing there, you know.
One hand should definitely wash the other. And you can always pivot when you feel like it's not a good fit for what you initially were looking for.
Oh
But I,
yeah, you develop, you grow in different directions, and not like you're growing out of it, but you're heading in different directions sometimes, and you got to be aware of that. One thing I know nothing about is volunteering for a cause.
oh,
And Atlanta, I tried to do this in Atlanta, and it required all this background check and everything and all that for to help out. And I said, oh, this is too much. So I know that some places are much easier to do that, but let's talk about that, and then how can that contribute to not just the social well-being, but your own, and even networking.
first and foremost, there are so many places in your community that you can, volunteer at. I think it helps you be really down to earth with and connect with what's actually going on outside of your level of wherever you may be. Volunteering your time is one of the best ways that you can give back and create appreciation. You can find, you can go to every city has a government, website where you can go and find the local organizations, and they have you can volunteer there. I know that a lot of times a large, corporate organizations will do a volunteer project. Feeding America is a national foundation where we help feed people. You can volunteer your time. And I don't mean during, the major times, Christmas, Thanksgiving, everybody's doing that around, year round. As a matter of fact, I think there's a lot of organizations that are turning people away during that time. You want to make it part of your habit. If not volunteering, then at least bare minimum, donating to a local charity that you can feel passionate about.
I remember back in the day they had something like Big Brothers and stuff where because there's a lot of single parents, right? And I'm one of them, so I don't really need a big brother. But you get what I'm saying, that there's a lot of single mothers, and a lot of these kids need father figures, and I'm just using that as one example because it's hard. There's a lot of stuff I don't do well as a man, like I'm trying to do my daughter's hair and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. like doing the best I can to do that, and and sometimes she needs a woman's touch, because I'm never going to be good at that stuff. I'll do it, but it just kind of doesn't quite look
Doesn't have
right.
that, yes.
It's just like your dad made this, did it? So
you get better over time anytime you're not good with that. But I love that you said, like that big brother, big sister, Boys and Girls Club. I don't even know if they're still around. Oh, that's terrible. But I know that's made a
they
huge
have girls club, boys club, or that's around still, but I don't know if they have volunteers. They're I think it's a for-profit deal, but it's definitely worth it. It would be nice to have if there was a local resource sheet, in your area, where you could find things that you're passionate about, But
well, they do have that. If you go to your local, community centers, they know tons and tons of people that are connected in that individual city, decision makers, people that, maybe pass laws, and they can always direct you where you're looking to go. And also, if you need assistance for other people, friends that you may know, it doesn't always have to be for you, but you can be that advocate for that person. You can simply just do a Google search. If you're not a Google person, you can do Bing, whatever the case is. You can, just find out, local charities in your area.
The Bing is coming back because of they have a Chat GPT hookup now, right? That's why Bing is coming back a bit.
Really?
Yeah, so that's their challenging Google, by the way. Sorry, it has nothing to do with a conversation.
No, we can go down that rabbit hole definitely another day on a deeper level. But well, shout out to Bing. I think I was on there for a minute and I've been roasted, and now I'm a Google person. But
you're roasted? What do you mean? What happened?
It's not cool. I'm always the person without the cool sneakers, the cool look, but it's okay. I don't mind being at the forefront of innovation, even if it's not cool at that time. Volunteering, I've seen it, really just pay dividends on my own personal life. If you did maybe even a challenge looking at different, shelters in your area, different churches partner with different organizations as well. You can reach out to them and find out, where can I volunteer my time? Just asking, and it helps. It may not be what you.
I have someone I'm connected with. Oh, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she has something called Helping Folk. And she does, and she's from, I want to say, somewhere in the UK, and came to here to Atlanta, and she's actually helping homeless people and she has these huge events and stuff. She's doing fantastic. So I'm gonna connect with her because she obviously knows how to, she has that whole network of great people, and you can tell on her post, everyone's smiling like, oh, I want to be part of that. You know what I mean? Really contribute on that stuff. So a lot of the social initiatives will not just help your soul, but they will help your business, because you end up being more empathetic. Is that the right word?
That is the right word.
that type of person, and people recognize you. So working from home or your office or whatever, it's cool and everything, but yeah, we definitely need to get out and talk to real people, and meet those individuals. Any last words of wisdom?
Wisdom.
Yeah, you seem kind of wise.
I? Okay, I'm gonna take that. I'm not gonna not take your compliments, people. Always accept your compliments. That's at my point five version of wisdom. But really, at the end of the day, you want to get out there and not hold yourself back from any opportunities. All of these are just tools in your arsenal to give you confidence, to give you conviction, to give you, that checkbox of, I'm taking action towards what I really want. And it's the
Yeah,
same thing
yeah,
virtually or in person. And it's the same thing with following up with people after you make these connections. I think that's the biggest takeaway that, we can talk about, ideas and reaching out to people, but it's really about maintaining that connection and creating a relationship. You create the
mhm.
impact with the activities, you maintain outreach, right? It's should be both ways. Hi, how are you? How are you doing? But most importantly, you maintain that throughout, and then you can get, the ROI long term down the line.
Yeah, I think everything is relationship based. And I am an introvert by nature. And so
Same.
one reason I have the show is because I'm an introvert. I'm not very good at I'm good at with small groups and things like that, but
Mhm.
it took me a long time to be a little more open, because in general I don't like a lot of people, to be honest with you. It's pretty bad
You're
because
not
it's
wrong.
just I'm like I have I have a terrible poker face. And I think part of it was that I didn't want to hang around with disgenuine, ungenuine people,
Mhm.
and by giving your time to worthwhile causes, you end up building building yourself up, and actually building a great network as well. Because those people that are running those events are people that you really
Yeah.
want to know, and they open up doors for you, believe it or not. So thank you very much. What Lisa, what you can do is add her profile on it, Christel's profile, and add mine too. So if you want to talk about LinkedIn, I'd love to talk about that. Feel free to book some time with me. It's on my profile. And if you want to talk about networking, creating an environment through helping other people, or even this magazine thing she's doing,
Definitely
reach
the
out to
magazine.
her. So
Yes.
that's actually was a cool idea. Have your own magazine and give it to your prospects, because it has a much longer longevity, and it's really inexpensive.
That's the kicker. You can always, if you want to reach out, you can go to, are we still doing WWWs? But increasebusiness.net/, my first name, Christel. And that should pop out for more information. It'll also be in my bio on my LinkedIn page. And it's been such a pleasure, Troy. I want to really thank you for the honor and the opportunity for having me here today, little old me. I appreciate that. Thank you, Lisa, as well. And it's have a great one. It's been a pleasure.
Yep. Thank you, and have a great day, everyone.